course it is. I'm awake now. Maybe. Okay. 7:30. Call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, gonna beg everybody's forgiveness. I've got an executive session at the start of the meeting tonight. We're gonna adjourn into the senior room for a brief 5-minute interruption, and I forgot to leave executive session at the end of the meeting. We've got a couple other executive session. Amy wanted one, and I believe Herb's got an issue.
Yes.
But the board motion to go into executive session and leave the room.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to get more cookies, huh, John? Those cookies are up there. Help yourself.
You have big more in the other room.
Oh, please, don't.
So it's back. It's here for a little bit.
John. Little happy job.
I see that.
Mario, let's talk about this before the meeting.
Oh, boy.
Right back there.
Ready cleaning it up.
Sir. Motion to go back into regular session from executive session.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Board stands back in regular session from executive session. Coming out of executive session, board is entertaining legal options in regard to snowmobiling. Okay. Minutes review. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the February 12th meeting that Herb so expertly ran? Looked good to me, just in case there was any problems with it.
I think there was one spelling. I think Lowell's last name is Seifter.
Seifter, okay.
Yeah, again, I'm not a English lady
You
that-
know what it is?
I think I can look on my phone if I spelled it right. I think it's Siefter. Yeah, maybe that's it.
S
I
I,
could look on my phone.
Oh.
Seifter, maybe.
I can look at my.
If you got him, look on your phone. I'll butcher it without my phone. I know that. Other than that, nope, not picking on you because
no,
put your name.
no, that's good. Yeah.
that's the only one I noticed.
Yeah, I was only going by my notes and I had no idea what.
Any other corrections, suggestions? If not, these are the clerk's minutes. Public comment. That brings us to the first public comment period of the meeting. If those in the audience will allow me, I'm going to jump right in on a discussion that took quite a while last month on the golf course. I get the emotions, I get the desire. After talking with the board members, after looking at the price and the things that it would take to do it, I have to regrettably say, I believe the town is not interested in trying to run the golf course, buy the golf course. But I believe, as we've done in the past, we would wholeheartedly support anybody that wanted to try and take that on. I'm hoping that there's some people that are in the hopper. I haven't heard anything new. I don't know if anybody else has heard anything new. I believe it's no deep secret that the Lynn's Roger is sick. There are issues going on there. Roger Jr. is the only one that wants to be talked to about anybody taking over the golf course. Last I had heard, there was a group of members that were seriously looking at doing it. I wish I had more to report, but I don't know. Have you heard anything different, Mr. Rudd?
That's why I'm here.
That's what I figured.
No, I haven't. And it's all hush hush and I was hoping that you would have, or some board member would have some information in regards to contacting the Lynn's. They said they would. And find out what's going on. I'll put it this way. I don't know what the answer is. I think you're missing an opportunity as the town. And I think personally, I think we should be innovative and not sit there in hindsight and say, well, we can't do it. I have no idea how you do this. I wouldn't even offer a suggestion. I don't know. But there's 6 of you here, 5 of you here. That's why you guys have been elected to come up with these ideas and figure out how to do something, okay? I brought it up last time, and, and they said it was a different deal altogether. I don't know as far as the Arrowhead goes, but if they didn't look forward, you wouldn't be sitting here tonight if they didn't look forward and say, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna buy this, or whatever they did to do what they had to do to have the property you have today, here with the park and the cottages and all that. And maybe Junior doesn't have any inkling to lease it. I have no idea. I don't have any contact with them. I'm surprised that there's nobody else here tonight that from the golf course that put their effort forward. But I really do. I think it was addressed in a professional manner somehow. I don't see why it couldn't be a moneymaker for the town. And I'm not saying buying it, I understand that, okay? It's a lot of money, but for what they want for it, there's no way anybody's gonna buy it for that kind of money. Okay, and if they could lease it or lease it with the option or something, I don't know. But it's just an opportunity that's gonna be wasted if you don't explore your opportunities here. And that's my feeling, and I think you guys should get together and talk to everybody and figure out something, if it's yay or nay or whatever, but to sit there and just say, well, I think it's a done deal, we're not interested. I think you guys are missing out on the boat. I really do. It's a hell of a, it brings a lot of people in this town. And I think you're just missing the whole opportunity here. That's my own professional opinion, so I'll leave it at that.
And I respect that, and I'm not giving up on contact with the Lens. I'm not giving up on trying to help something happen. But I can't sit here and promise that we're going to enter into a lease or.
No, I get that. You gotta contact Junior first.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, Junior's got stars in his eyes. He's gonna lease it or, not lease it, but, sell off the lots, do that, whatever. I don't even know if that's a possibility to the APA. I have no idea. But that's not gonna help the town. That's for damn sure. All that's gonna do is have tax problems for everybody that's lives here. And I just don't see how that is gonna help anything. So, I think that if you guys can get together and somebody, you said there was a group that was interested in doing something, and contact them and help them out and let them know what the possibilities are, listen to the tax bracket or whatever it takes. Okay, I mean, it's just as far as I can see, it's a win-win deal for everybody.
That's the angle I'm employing right now, to try and help anybody else step in and take it on. Again, and with you having been on the grounds crew up there, I'm very depressed to hear that they haven't engaged anybody to at least take care of the greens should somebody not step forward.
It's not only the greens, it's the whole, everything.
Grounds, buildings, all that stuff.
Well, yes, but the big thing on that golf course is the mowing part of it.
Yeah.
And within a month, it'll be nothing but a cow pasture. It'll never go back to a cow or to a golf course again. Unless somebody's willing to take that big step and put a lot of, it'll never be a golf course this year. I'll put it that way.
Right. But just so you know that that's where we're stand right now is in negotiations or talks with them, but not at this point to operate or run or buy it. But options for anybody else to help them out. We're gonna try. That's all we can do.
Well, so long as you're talking to somebody.
Has anybody from the board contacted the Lens? Has it been communication? Has it been a phone call?
Right now, the communication has been between Tara and
Have you reached out to Roger?
I have, and I have not heard back from him. All conversations at this point between myself and Susan and Tara that have been running the pro shop there. And they were the first persons to find out it was going to be closed. I called them immediately. And that's where all conversations right now are going. I'm waiting for a call back from Roger. I'm not in a position to drive over and find out where Roger is.
Well, and you shouldn't have to do it.
No.
I mean, as simple as get on the phone, okay, and do that. But
5 minutes could change a lot.
5 minutes.
something's got to happen. It's got to happen sooner or later.
But we were told to a T, not to try and call Roger Senior or his wife.
I get it.
Okay. And I'm respecting them on that point.
I understand that. And, you know, if Junior doesn't want to have any conversation, well, that's his fault, but, somehow this has to be resolved. I think it would just be a plus thing if somebody works something out some way or another. But, anyway, I'll drop it, so.
Well, no, it is definitely, I've always called Arrowhead Park the crown jewel, of public property. That's another crown jewel. I mean, the mountain peaks, the whatever.
Well, it's been here almost 100 years.
Well, and we're lucky to have it. Adele, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I don't know who the group is that, is working on trying to do something, but I do know that Lowell and David Bull are part of it. Is there somebody on the board that would be willing to reach out to one of them to just let them know that the town board is willing to talk about?
If somebody can give me their contact information, I'll call them tomorrow morning.
I have David Bull's email.
Okay. Anything else for public comment? I don't mean to,
Yeah, I wanna know how we're gonna move forward with public representation down at the county, John. It's been 16 months since we've been represented down at the county level.
I disagree
Uh,
wholeheartedly. I've been on Zoom,
16 months, one Zoom meeting,
one Zoom meeting.
yeah.
Apparently they're not logging my meetings. Well, and here's the odd part. If I can't make it over there, I'm not allowed to designate anybody to go over.
Well, that's why we're here to talk about it. You know, if you can't make it over there, what does that leave Inlet?
Still connected. We're not. Are we missing something? Am I, in all honesty, are we not getting something from the county we've always gotten? I'm trying to figure out where this is coming from, Rich. You want me to quit? Is that what you want me to do? Walk out right now?
I want representation down there. If that's part of the position, if that's part of the supervisor position, that needs to be handled.
I don't need this horse shit. Fine, I quit. That's what you want me to do? I quit. Fucking kid.
All right. Sorry, audience. Herb, you mind taking over?
I'm gonna have to, let me just go over here. I don't know why. All right. All right. Anything else from the public?
Try.
You wanna go out? See if we can
Take a 5-minute recess.
Yeah, let's take a 5-minute recess.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. Okay, Impione. Okay,
Are they a French company? They must be.
yeah,
I emailed him twice within the last week and wanted to see where we were.
yep,
Also, I had a couple people that were asking questions, so I wrote him again
yep.
and I gave him it's about the people that were asking particular questions, and asked them to get back. But I checked before I left and I hadn't gotten a response.
Yeah.
So I know we're darn.
Yeah, so pretty close.
8 people?
Eight.
Well, I don't totally, and I know I talked to you, Dan, one day and I took the guy's number down, but I lost it or whatever. I can't find it. I signed up 3 months ago. I don't think I'm switched. And if I go on their website, it has all my information, but not my electric information. Do you know what I'm saying? So somewhere it's in Cyberland and
So when you get your bill now,
it doesn't indicate it at all. So,
Dan's asking me to come back. Do you still want me to sit at the table?
yes, please.
I apologize for my outburst. It was extremely unprofessional of me. Wish I could say out of character, but not entirely. Dan, they're all gonna blame you in the future for this. Use humor when I get really, really nervous, so I'm not taking light of this at all. I sincerely apologize for my outburst. But since the comment was made, I've asked if I could send somebody else in my stead. There were other towns where this has happened, where there was either an illness or quite frankly, the supervisor decided they didn't think they had to go. Trust me, that is not the case. I thought as of last week I was going to be able to go, and my daughter was watching my wife and she got sick and I couldn't go over. I should be doing more, Rich. I fully admit that I should be.
Engage in conversation, John, because
I wish I hadn't been blindsided by it, that's all. But anyways, it is what it is. I've still been actively engaged with the communications committee over there, trying to close the loop on the tower situation, not just for Inlet, but for the whole county. There's stuff on the later on the agenda. Okay, I left my agenda at home, but I've got it right here. I got the electronic one. I will try and do better. Anything else for public comment? Don't be afraid. I'm not going to yell at anybody else. Ampion Power, do we know how many users have signed?
We were just discussing that.
Thought we had 8, and I've got a couple other people that were asking particular questions before signing up. So I've been in touch with Brian twice in the last week or so, and he got back to me once. And then I mentioned 2 people that were considering it and they had specific questions, so I asked them to get in touch with them, get their contact information, but I hadn't heard anything, and that was yesterday that I sent him that email. But
I'll specifically have Brian get in touch.
Yeah, just get in touch because I got 5 accounts. I mean, I could give him 5 accounts, but I don't understand where I'm lost in the system because I believe I am.
is there anybody that has any questions about this? Or concerns or whatever? I mean, this is gonna give the town, a good amount of money.
It took a bit for them to switch over the towns over, like, I want to say probably a good 4 or 6 weeks before I started seeing, I got an email giving me a portal and the whole 9 yards,
Yeah, yeah. See, I'm somewhere in that thing, but I'm telling you, it was like November that I signed up. So I don't know. I mean, it just seems weird.
I've tried to go on a couple of times. It's kind of confusing. I'm not sure
What you doing?
what the deal is. I'm-
Ampian.net.
It is a little weird.
Weird. I don't know.
If someone has a question, Connie, they contact you, who,
Brian Busby is the fellow that's our contact with them, and he's got the answer. Do you have his email?
I have his contact information. I'm also willing to come and bring my laptop and sit down and see if we can kind of work through it too. If it's just a technical detail.
Okay,
But if you've done it and it went through and then.
Yeah. Yeah, it says on the website, like, you're waiting for the next step, you know, and it's been 3 months.
There's no,
No.
right.
Yeah,
I wonder if we could have like a sign up 2 hours one evening or day or something.
No, we were trying to offer that, after our meetings, the task force meeting, but we got caught up with a couple different things that happened. Would evening work out better, or should we talk to Brian, see if he can come and help?
Yeah, because then I thought maybe I could advertise it and say, if you're interested in signing up, this is what it'll do for Inlet. If you sign up, come sign up, somebody will help you.
Well, you'd save 10%. I mean.
Yeah.
I'm willing to come and I guess we could pick a time and I'm willing to come and set up in here and maybe they wants to come.
I feel like with my account, the last step for me was sending in my electric bill or linking my electric bill up.
Mhm.
And then everything started going through after that, but
okay. I linked up my account numbers. All I did, my National Grid account number, I put in the system. And then they have to link it. But I didn't send them anything, so I don't know. Again, I don't know.
Okay, you didn't actually send them a copy of the bill.
No, I just,
they had two options.
Okay.
That was one of them.
so, all right.
Do we have a link on our webpage for it? Anywhere?
On the minutes,
Yeah, it's in the minutes, but I didn't know if it was worth putting it on the government page or.
just for kicks, well, when you mentioned it, I signed on. It took 90 seconds and I'm linked.
But you're linked,
But-
but has it switched over yet? There's the key.
We can definitely add a link on.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I was hoping that since it was included in the article too, thank you, Dan. You know, it was in the paper last week, that would also prompt people to investigate it.
yeah, and like they said, we were gonna do like after our meeting, which is the first Wednesday of the month.
Right.
Invite people in to help and have Dan there to help. But we could still do that, but maybe schedule an evening thing with, what was his name, Brian?
Brian Busby.
Brian, invite Brian in and have an evening thing also.
that would be maybe a little more incentive. That's not a bad idea.
So I think the evening one would be better.
I'd be game, yeah. I mean, I don't know what, I can't want to speak for everybody, but
I think we should do both.
if that works for him, that would be pretty neat.
Next time I stop by tomorrow and we'll pick a date on the calendar and throw it out in the newsletter or whatever.
Okay.
That as far as you got?
Yes, that's,
Okay.
I'm sorry, that's as far as we got. We were just discussing that.
All right. I encourage more to sign up.
Golf course.
Huh?
You better get off.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
Could you transfer the savings to buy the golf course? How many signups would it take then?
All right, communications, I mentioned, there's been, monthly meetings with, the county, our CNS engineers, trying to work through to get a complete microwave set up all the way through the county and get those towers finished up on, Corsani's Mountain. The last I've heard on the enclosure for the top of the hill, there's now a 10 by 21 located in New York State that's available for free. If we're willing to pick it up, transfer it, hire the crane, do all the 9 yards. It's a 20 by 31 that's in Texas. Quite honestly, even though there's going to be a freight charge on the one from Texas, the bigger is better. We need it. $400,000 for a brand new one's ridiculous.
Yeah.
If we're not entertaining buying a golf course, $400,000, even with some grant money, is wasted funds as far as I'm concerned for an enclosure for the radio equipment. I've been told that we will have one in place prior to the summer and we will get those things lit. AT&T is ready to go on their cell tower as soon as National Grid puts the power up the hill. As everybody knows, I reported out last fall that National Grid showed up 3 weeks after freeze-in. Thought they'd try and run the lines through the conduit and there was frozen water in the conduit. You know more about that, right?
we might have an early start coming.
Huh?
I said, with the weather the way it is, maybe look at it.
That's what we thought last week before the snow came back down. There's still some compliance paperwork that needs to be done, handed into the feds to get that money back on the towers. The door is not closed on that. I'm still working on that with the engineers. Anything for the planning board?
Still working on the master plan. Dave did send out an email a while ago that he was looking at a March 30th deadline, hoping that all department heads and all boards take a look at the plan and see where, you know, where the town board's mentioned as someone who's supposed to act on a whatever, I forget the terms, but just take a look at it, see if there's anything in there outdated, or you can update on, or if you see new goals that the town should be working on, it would be appreciated.
Very good. Attached to the agenda is assessor codes, parks and building reports. Since we have everybody here in the room, Adele, we'll start with you. Information, anything you want to highlight?
Frozen Fire and Lights was huge success, even though there was no, you know, a non-winter. We had a great Frozen Fire and Lights. 26 cardboard sleds in the race, which is the second highest number ever. So that's pretty impressive.
Well, no snow winter, that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
right?
Really is.
Right.
We got lucky with the ice on the lake. We got lucky with a whole bunch of stuff.
Men cooperated and we had kites flying. The kids are flying kites. The kite flyers that came with their big kites, they did have some even bigger kites that they weren't able to get up because there wasn't that much wind, but they did have some bigger than the little kites flying. So that was great.
Okay.
And fireworks were amazing, as always. Community Pride Day is coming up. Looking for sponsors for the t-shirts. I'm sure there was something else in here I should have mentioned, but you guys have any questions? Anything in my report? I can tell you we're almost at 1,000 racers for Black Flag Challenge. When I checked the number this morning, we were at 986.
We hit 1,000 registered last year, didn't we? And then we had some
We hit it early, but we had rolled over
from the previous year.
2 years
2 years. Wow.
because of COVID.
Yep.
So we definitely, you know, we hit the 1,000 early because we already had some building up. So I wasn't necessarily expecting to hit 1,000 this early.
And which way is it running this year?
Starts in Inlet, ends in Indian Lake.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How about parks?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Want to thank Sean, Highway Department, for helping us get all the Christmas lights off the street, getting rid of the Christmas tree. Trails Department for helping us clear a few really big trees, some dangerous hangers in Fern Park from that last storm. So it was really good to have some backup out there cutting those trees down. As far as, the trails for skiing, pretty much done. Ice rink's done. We have the rest of the stuff for the bathroom coming in Friday, so we're hoping to start that this weekend. Just keep them busy. There's still a lot to do. As far as the playground goes, it has been ordered, paid for. Thanks to Dan and everybody, we're able to raise enough money to pay for the playground without the town putting in any money. So I'm proposing adding on a climber. This will replace something that I think we removed 2 or 3 years ago, Sean. Yeah. And it's $7,000 with delivery, something we will install ourselves and something that will be done much later. Luckily, the playground is in stock and we're shooting for hopefully the 1st or 2nd week of May for them to come and install it. So we should have it all done before Memorial Day, which would be awesome. So I just like to get the okay to have the town pay their portion. Playground, order this. We have some money. We have the old playground listed right now and the auction ends tomorrow. Hoping to get $1,000, couple $1,000 for it, and then they will remove it. So that will save us time and money there.
You've got a soft commitment from the youth commission.
Yep, for $3,500. So Parks Department, town comes up with the other 35 minus what we get for that playground,
We had already committed to putting up
5 to 10.
5 to 10, so that's well within the scope.
Yeah, that's it, because we were gonna contribute towards the other, and if that was already covered,
Yep.
then I don't see.
Yeah, luckily enough, I was able to get them down in price. I mean, the playground started at $100,000. So we ended up paying 66, and that includes installation. So,
Nice.
And again, that was covered privately.
correct. Wattis Foundation and private donations.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks for the town.
Thank you, Dan.
We need a motion to pay it.
I think we need a because that was a previous motion. I believe we passed to spend the 10, so just to amend the previous motion,
I make the motion to pay the 35.
amend the previous motion,
I'll second that.
discussion. Thank you for finding that.
Yeah, that's,
Perfect.
All,
Other costs.
all in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed?
The only,
None.
okay, sorry. Jumping ahead here. The only other cost I see maybe is getting some sand to the playground. I talked to John and we're hopeful that we might have some sand and might be able to get to it by May, but worst case, we'll have to,
Might have some salt in it, right?
oh, gosh. Oh,
we're not going. I think that's all I got. Oh, I know it's on the agenda later, but as far as the mini splits go, I have not heard back from the other two companies. I did reach out again, still haven't got a call back. So I'm just gonna start from square one, find some different companies to talk to. I know we're not in a hurry since we don't have enough money yet anyway. But the only one that got back to me was City Suburban. BJ Queen came here, never heard back. And Suburban, not Suburban, Standard, never got back. So there's more companies out there I can talk to. I'm sure I can find someone else to come up and give us quotes.
All right, and I'm also fairly confident that if we can get over the next couple of hurdles with the money that could be coming in on things that the town's been checking off the list, we should be able to cover.
We should, right. I think you said if you got the 10 people, we should have enough money to do that project.
Yep.
Olive and Sons might be another option.
Okay.
OLL.
Yep, they just spent. Okay, codes,
Other than what's in our report, everything's been going pretty well. I know Bonnie's been working her best on trying to get our filing back from New York State on our short-term rental law. But we still haven't received that that's been filed, so as we're approaching the busier season, it's,
we're kind of in limbo.
I'm gonna start getting questions. So.
You get a donation permits.
could we ask our lawyer what the status is? I can't imagine once we've passed it, even though they haven't signed off on it, I think we can still operate under its auspices. But I think that's a question. I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn last night, although my wife wanted me to.
All right, I'll look this with them.
Assessing,
Same, what's in my report, but I wanted to point out in the array of numbers I gave you in my report that we're not out of line, even though we're not at 100% this year. After the meeting, it was all of the county assessors were there and the state, and they all agreed we should let it just ride for one more year before we make any more changes to see what's gonna happen with the market, because that's the driving factor in why we're at 87. And it's just too volatile right now, and there's so little inventory, it's really hard to tell where it's gonna go for a few more months.
yeah, because unfortunately with
We'll reval in another year.
mortgage rates the way they are, that's the expensive properties that are selling.
Right, because they don't need mortgages.
Yep.
It's the 500 or less that people need mortgages on that are kind of, but there's been a couple of high-end houses out here now too, in the last that have been on the market 8 or 9 months, that in the height of the market would have been gone in a month. So it's definitely, but I felt comfortable after talking to like Bill Hoteling and a couple of the other longer term assessors at the meeting that have gone through some of these, like he revamped at 100% last year with a paid appraiser and all kinds of costs to the town, and he dropped to 92 in just
Well,
12 months. So
When do you think we need to do a complete revale?
I'm sorry.
When do you think we need to do a complete revale?
I would say before I'm done, so maybe within 5 years, maybe within 3 years, we should plan it.
And
It's been a
she's,
while since we've done that.
it has been, but quite honestly, and pat you on the back, you've been doing a hell of a job of keeping the neighborhoods, following the trends, following the sales, that prior to this, we've always been able to hit the 100%. Or close to it, according to the state, so.
Yeah, we've always been within that 5% range they give us. It's just this year and we're not the only ones, like a lot of other towns are like, Old Forge, I believe is, I think we declared 67.
That's where they're at.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Neither do I.
I mean, yeah, it's, they're thinking it's gonna fluctuate back a little on its own, where we'll be maybe 92 next year or 90, but until it kind of, and you know, honestly, the politics have a lot to do with it this year, with an election year, with a national election. It always is kind of squirrely when you get into that period, as to interest rates and the.
Will this affect our state land tax payments or no?
I don't think so. I just did my state land report. Our values haven't changed since last year, so.
Good.
Snowmobiling?
well, quick room about the 22nd of February. Yeah, I'm working on some trucks, fixing them up, and we built a trailer to pick up all our snow fence and everything. And we got rumors all ripped apart. Trailer, the drags are all ripped apart, getting ready to paint them all. So working on trails.
A lot of equipment updates. Yep. Trailer looks nice.
Thanks.
All right, Youth Commission report. Mary sent a long email to the town board. She's got scheduled a training session in June.
First week in June.
First weekend in June, and she's hoping that the board was still amenable to trying to cover some costs for those that might want to go for the training. Her suggestion is at the end of the season to reimburse for 1/3.
Yeah, so my apologies, because I didn't tell her what you guys had passed.
Yeah, we passed the resolution last month
Yeah, and
that we were gonna raise the $1.
but we have a meeting this coming Thursday, and I, like, said,
Ah.
I had a youth commission meeting, so I emailed her and let her know that that was the resolution that was passed to raise lifeguarding $1. And she asked me to just clarify, is that all lifeguards or just incoming new?
No, that would be all lifeguards, so that everyone has to have training.
Yeah.
So we're covering their training. The longer they stay, the better it is for them. You know what I'm saying? So, but even if we're not doing the training, they got it somewhere else, they still should get that
They're get reimbursed providing they
reimbursement for that
stay.
training.
Right, I wasn't sure if Mary's suggestion was, maybe, quite honestly, the dollar might be needed anyway, so we stay competitive with people. And then the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. I know that flies in totally in the face of the resolution that you passed last month, but you know where I stand with that. It's one of the hardest positions after police and highway to fill. And it's a seasonal position. The competition for lifeguards is cut.
It's tough, which is why I thought it's a win-win, because we raise them $1 and on the auspice of their training, plus it maybe moves them up over a little bit more. I don't know if I want to necessarily bump it or reimburse training for some people that get it through this, and then the other people who have paid their own training, it's really not fair to them.
I think what we have,
It depends on how many we get registered.
It's like $240
Per person?
It was even less than that, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, it was like 180.
So in 1 year, whoever worked would be even anyways at a buck.
That was what my
Yeah,
thought
right,
was.
right.
the problem with the bucket hour is over where we were is we don't have a gauge yet of what other people are going to be paying yet. That's my only,
Right.
that's my only caveat. So I think we need to double check on that and we still have time,
Yeah, okay,
but that was her suggestion.
yeah.
She also questioned if they have to work a certain amount of hours before that dollar will be there, and I told her I didn't think so.
I thought it kind of works itself. The
Right.
more you work, the more
More
you
you
get
get
the
back.
extra dollar.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, I wouldn't say unless you want to make an incentive to people to say, you got to work at least 20 hours before you get it, then you got another thing you got to deal with and try to make it work. I think you just put the dollar in, you know, I mean, that's my personal thought.
My issue once again with New York State, and I can't go a meeting without saying I've got an issue with New York State. But you know, they get to pass their own rules and regulations that even ride above New York State Health Department. Some of the campgrounds are going no lifeguards whatsoever.
I know.
Yeah,
And other campgrounds, they're allowed to have wide open beaches with one lifeguard at 17 years old, I believe, sitting in the chair. That we're not allowed to do that. And we've shrunk the area of our swimming area every year for the last 15 years, it seems like, until we're down to almost a shoe
so what do you
box.
think? Local law?
Unfortunately, we're not allowed to pass anything that weakens a state mandate, and the health department operates under state mandate. The state is allowed to pass something that weakens its own mandates.
That's terrible.
That said, I don't want anybody swimming at our beach in an unhealthy situation either, but some of the regulations are a little ridiculous. All right, moving on. And okay, we already covered parks. Highway department, tag Sean, you're at.
Plowed and sanded, all garbage and recyclables. We took delivery of the new excavator. Very nice. If anybody gets a chance, stop up, take a look at it. A couple of you have already. Appreciate that. We cleaned up our trucks and equipment, cleaned up some trees from the recent windstorms. Moved snow from around town to clean up, make room for the next snow that we really didn't get. Cleaned up the stump dump with the new excavator. The stump dump was closed till it dries up. We checked culverts and drop inlets, make sure it's going freely. Attempted to rake the Youngest Road, and we did rake the stump road to help it dry up. And we placed the road closed signs on the Youngest Road on the gravel portion for the spring thaw. Coming up, we're gonna plow and sand, all garbage recyclables, keep our equipment clean. I have a resolution from the county to post, our roads along with, well, he's gonna post his roads, but he'll post our roads along with his roads. I have a resolution for you guys.
You have another copy of that?
What's that?
Do you have another copy of that?
Not with me.
Can you, do you got your computer?
I have my phone.
Can you email it to me?
Maybe, yeah, yes. Do you want me, can I do that? Just get done with this and I'll.
Yep.
Also, I have a verbal request from a property owner for a new street light up on the end of Gilbert Road on the gravel section. I know that kind of runs in, you have that on the agenda, but it's on my agenda or on my report, so I just thought I'd mention that. I'm not sure exactly, I've never had a request for a street light, but, so I don't know.
We've had them, same people, neighbors, one wanted it turned on, the other one turned off, so.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I just don't know how do you go about, do you use the board to approve it?
Tell them they can come down to the park and take that one out of the way, because no one knows who owns it. I swear.
As we're looking to swap out the lights to the LEDs, which I believe we're going to be discussing tonight. I think that would be one that we would add to the list. One of the things that we really need to focus on is how bright we want these LEDs to be. Because if anybody's noticed, that one at the end of the Uncas Road is just a tad too bright.
Terrible.
I have not forgotten that people said that.
That one, actually, I think it was put up at the time they were doing transfer.
Yeah, they were changing the substation.
Yeah, they did it for,
Additional light.
yeah.
Never went away.
Yeah,
They said they
so.
were gonna come back and take it down, but they
No,
never.
but this is unfortunately our golden opportunity to remind them. And we don't want that one put up at the end of Gilbert Road. So we will add that to the list.
I only have it for highway.
Can you send me that?
Yes.
Thank you. Apparently the copy that you gave me was in my laptop when I went home.
It might take me a minute or two.
But yeah,
don't hold up for me. Can we come back to it? Cause it might take me a couple.
Okay, and we'll jump over, transfer and recycling, it's just the same thing. You're on the winter hours for a little bit.
Yep, same winter hours, open 4 days a week from 8 AM to 11:45 and then 1 PM to 6:45. Closed on Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday. Place is neat and orderly. As always, be sure to enter the building before proceeding to the C&D and metal bins. And if you have any questions, please ask the attendant.
Okay, town clerk's report.
I have a few things. The revenue is a total of $18,687.50, which 7,600 of that was snowmobile permits that have been entered so far. I have a letter here from CTS thanking us for our support of their organization. They're happy to continue this much needed transportation service. We're always looking for volunteer drivers and new board members. If you know anyone in the Inlet area that would be interested in joining the organization, please send them their way. And that's written by Amy Van Wee, president. I have a letter here from the Edwin Wattis Foundation, who gave us the money for the playground. The requirements of the donation are that we're going to need to take photos and or a video of the kids playing on the playground equipment. And we must spend the money within 6 months, which we had no problem doing. And any unused funds have to be returned, which there were none. And they would like us to make sure that if we're going to advertise it, that we make sure that we say the funds were provided by the Edwin J. Wattis Foundation, Inc. So I will post that in the minutes.
I have a couple grandbabies that'll be playing on it. I'll take pictures.
There.
Perfect. And you probably should put just like a little,
So,
well, yeah, I don't know, plaque might be a little formative, but some sticker or something that would say, because that acknowledges it without having to put it in everything.
yeah.
I'm getting a free bench with our purchase, so, I'll talk to Adele, we'll get a flag and put it up
The
there.
best, perfect.
Perfect, I was
That's
gonna
a
say.
good way to put it in the park.
Then you could take a picture of it, send it to them and,
Yep.
yeah.
And I have some correspondence that kind of allows people to follow along with what's happened in our snowmobile permit debacle. I don't know how much, the letter that we sent to Waddy, a recap was that Town of Webb basically has said that they were only going to give us $50,000 towards snowmobile permit sales instead of the 14% of total revenue we normally receive. So our letter from Waddy, I should say, to Bonnie Baker and the Town of Webb board was, I have been consulted by the Town of Inlet concerning revenue sharing for the sale of issued snowmobile trail permits as described in the above entitled agreement. The above entitled agreement was prepared by the Town of Webb attorneys. A review of the agreement provides that sharing of this revenue will be 86% to the Town of Webb and 14% to the Town of Inlet. And it appears as follows, that the total for last year, this is last year's sales, was $1,102,380,000. Inlet share would have been 14%, would have been $154,333.20. However, Inlet did retain $67,125, leaving $117,125. Town of Webb paid us $50,000, therefore the balance would have been $37,208.20 that they owe us. For the snowmobile season of 2022 to 23, the Town of Webb arbitrarily issued a check for their share for the sum of $50,000 in lieu of the written agreement, when in fact the correct amount should have been $87,208.20. Demand is being made upon the Town of Webb for the payment of deficiency of $37,208.20 for the interest rate of 5% added. Please be further advised that the Town of Webb is not permitted or authorized to sell or issue future snowmobile permits that permit snowmobilers the use of inlet snowmobile trails. I would appreciate a response to this town as to the Town of Webb's position no later than March 14th. So the town of Inlet Board received a response from Bonnie Baker via email. But there's a little bit of discrepancy of which email you received.
Go for it.
Okay. There's an email on February. Okay, so. Okay, February 28th. Good morning, John. Thank you for reaching out to me last week. I have attached a shared revenue information sheet created by Mike Farmer for the two towns since 2015. The town of Webb reached out to Inlet 2 years ago to try to work something out. The board feels that the town of Inlet is not willing to work with us for any change that favors both towns. We have not agreed with this for quite some time and have been told by our attorney that this agreement has not been valid for many years. We therefore have decided to terminate the joint agreement between the two towns. So that was the email that the town of Inlet received. Then there was another email circulating.
I just point out one thing.
Sure.
They're terminating an agreement that didn't exist.
Yeah.
Go ahead. For real.
There's another email circulating. However, it says it's to Dear John. I'm not sure because it says to its town of Webb, TOWSUPV3@oldforgenewyork.com. Is that any of your email?
I don't have any emails in the town of Webb.
That one says, thank you for reaching out to me last week. I have attached a shared revenue information sheet created by Mike Farmer for the two towns since 2015. The town of Webb reached out to Inlet 2 years ago to try to work something out. The board feels that the town of Inlet is not willing to work with us for a change that favors both towns. We have not agreed with this for quite some time now, and it is now time to end this outdated agreement. We will issue Inlet a check in the amount of sold permits for their permits by their office as soon as sales are over for this year. We normally sell pre-season for the upcoming 2024-25 at the Snowfest event for the CAA in March, which we will not be selling this year.
I never received that email.
And I've not seen that. I have no idea about that.
So that's the email that the town of Webb board received that was sent to us.
That was sent to us.
Mhm.
Wow.
Just so everybody's aware.
Okay.
Okay.
At a joint meeting that was held last year, we went down to try and resolve some of this. Yes, they have been talking to us probably for more than 2 years about wanting to change to a flat rate fee. The flat rate fee made no sense to us whatsoever. You can call it, we ignored the request. We went down to talk about the request. Quite frankly, when we went and met with them in their meeting room, the reception was not warm.
It wasn't. It was very hostile.
You know, and the odd part was those that were in attendance in the audience thought that our request was reasonable. 2 or 3 of the members of the audience even stated that. I don't get where this is coming from, other than they must be having some budgetary issues down there. There is no way in hell they're spending $1 million on snowmobiling in the town of Webb. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. The $150 some odd thousand covers our cost of maintaining good equipment, staff, fuel, insurance, and easements for people. There have been years where we were a little flush with money, but there are also years where we weren't flush with the money, but we still maintained the equipment we had and rode steady with the program. You know, we quite honestly thought years ago that the rate should have been changed to 17%, and it might have been more accurate. They weren't going to give us that years ago. There was a period in time where we sold more permits than they did because we opened our office late at night prior to the web sales. The current administration is only looking at the fact that all those sales are being generated on the web now, and not so much foot traffic in the offices. So they feel the money's theirs. We tend to disagree. At that meeting, I felt we were being forced into a corner, and I said, if you keep pushing this, you may find us looking at going free. You know, that may be a possibility. I'm not sitting here and promising it right now, but I'll tell you we're considering it. And I think I'll leave it at that. I'm a little upset that somebody said that we received one email when we never received that email, and they didn't see the email that
Was actually sent.
Anyways, moving on. That's Webb's business. Amy, you're still working down there helping them out in the assessor's office, aren't you? Prior to that, Don Townsend went down and helped him out in codes. Andrew Khalil went down to help him out. And I gotta tell you, tomorrow, if they call up and have a request for something and a need, I'll still consider it. Maybe not as happily as we have in the past, but that's what neighbors are supposed to do. So I don't understand where this is coming from. I'm hoping that there might be a little bit of ground support down in Webb to push this back in the other direction, but we'll find out. Keep you posted, people. Going back to highway, are you done with your
Yes.
stuff?
Yep.
Okay. Sean sent me that resolution. Resolution number, do we know what resolution number we're at so far this year?
No, I didn't think to get a number. I'll put it in.
Requesting and authorizing the county highway superintendent to post weights restrictions on town roads for the year 2024. We do this every year, but it has to be read. Whereas Vehicle and Traffic Law, Article 41, Section 1660 gives authority to the town board to post weight limits on town roads when the board deems necessary to protect roads from harm during spring breakup. And whereas Vehicle and Traffic Law, Article 40, Section 1650 gives authority to the county superintendent of highways to post weight limits on county roads when the superintendent deems it necessary to protect county roads from harm during spring breakup. And whereas the town would need to place an ad in the local newspaper notifying the public of such postings, and whereas the county superintendent places a legal ad in the local newspaper notifying the public of such postings on county highways, and whereas the town roads are typically posted for the same duration as the county roads, whereas the town board and the town highway superintendent believes that it would be in the interest of the town if the county superintendent post weight restrictions on the town roads in conjunction with the county roads during spring breakup, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Inlet hereby requests and authorizes the county superintendent of highways to post weight restrictions on town roads within the town of Inlet when he deems necessary for the calendar year 2024. Would somebody like to move that resolution?
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
Second discussion. Again, we do this every year. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Do you have another copy of the,
That is right there.
Oh,
Never mind, sorry.
284.
yeah, the 284?
You need.
Yeah, I do.
So don't ask me any questions because I won't have a copy.
I'm just gonna hit the highlights of the fact that this is, by law, he's required to tell us what he's going to spend. The Town of Inlet agreement to spend highway funds pursuant to Section 284 of the New York State Highway Law for the 2024 budget year. And I'm just gonna hit the highlights. The sums to be governed by this agreement are $30,102.36 for road repairs as set forth in Section 3 of the budget for 2024. That is line 5110.4 and 5110.452 of the Town Inlet budget. $48,897.64 for major repair and capital improvements as set forth in Section 4, budget line 5112.4 of the Town Inlet budget, and $40,180.75 of CHIPS, Consolidated Highway Improvement Funds, something like that. I always call it something different, program. And that's the revenue that we'll receive from New York State. A total not to exceed $79,000 is anticipated that the Consolidated Local Street and Highway Improvement Program CHIPS monies received, adding to the 40,180.75. Copy of this will be in clerk's office if anybody wants to review how he plans on spending it, paving, gravel, and the other stuff. Anybody have any questions of that? I'd like to make a motion. The highway superintendent has provided the information to us and we accept it.
I'll offer it.
I'll second it.
Discussion. Thank you, Sean, for doing the homework on that. Copy of that will be sent on to DOT.
One's got to be filed with Bonnie and the other's got to be sent to the county highway superintendent's office.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? So carried. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
All right, we covered the snowmobile permit program. I believe we've talked about the light upgrade to LEDs. I believe we need a motion to accept funding to swap those out. Hopefully we can add the wattage the LEDs at a later date.
I thought it was predetermined, wasn't it?
No, they gave us three choices, I believe, on wattage, and we had to be very careful on which one
Yeah,
we picked.
there were three choices, like.
Yeah.
But they didn't have to all be the same everywhere.
No, they don't, but I
Because
think,
I don't know if we have the same everywhere. Though.
but
We don't know, but that's what they're offering.
Okay.
No LEDs, right?
so a motion to approve it with possibly the board going out. We've done this in the past where
Yeah.
we've gone out and we've audited where the lights are. If we wanted to make notations of where we thought maybe a brighter light would be better than not.
I'll have the motion
Okay,
to move forward.
to move forward,
I'll second it.
discussion. Hopefully we can meet within the next month to do that audit.
Mhm.
We'll set a time.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carried. We're gonna be switching to the LED lights. That helps with how much money for the,
I think once those are installed, it'll be worth an additional 10,000.
Yep.
I think if we do get the vehicle inventory done, it's an additional 10,000.
and the nice thing is, after we waited on this for the LED lights, this is probably the fourth or fifth time they've said, could you switch to the LED lights? This is almost at a break even, if not better than break even.
It was worth waiting this time.
It was worth waiting this time.
That was outrageous.
So thank you for bringing that to us.
I'm sure technology's gotten better on it.
Oh, sure.
Get different colors.
Well,
Temperatures.
Change the.
temperatures, yeah, the cool, the warm, the whatever, but quite honestly, if that's what we were gonna get, that wound up at the corner of the Uncas Road, I was never in favor of it.
No.
And we did make a good decision a long time ago to switch to the non-halo lights that don't broadcast up into the sky. We got a decent amount of savings on that, so
We did.
It bought us some time.
it bought us some time, so we're moving forward, but this, I'd like to point out, this is the second time that we've chosen to upgrade the lights. You know, can you believe this board did it in a green manner? Very quickly.
I mean, we have green lights in.
Solar eclipse preparedness. Anybody that's been trying to think that this isn't gonna be something big, really better start reading the reports around. I believe hopefully we're as ready as we could be, but we could be more ready. Traffic's gonna be the biggest issue. Traffic and people wandering off where they shouldn't wander off to try and view the eclipse. I'm hoping that the state's gonna do something, a little bit, around the climbing facilities, because that's my biggest fear, is that we're gonna be spreading our, emergency crews a little bit thin, having people that were unprepared to climb Rocky Mountain, Bald Mountain, the other mountains,
Yeah.
and, not in the shape to do it or whatever, and you're gonna be able to see the eclipse from down low just as well as you would from up high. But anyways, do you have anything else to add to that? How things are going with Brittany's plans?
I don't, yeah, I mean, we're good here, but like you said, it's the traffic and more specifically, the traffic when it's all over.
Yep.
Like when it's over, everybody's gonna be leaving. One of the things that they talked about in some of the meetings is to try to encourage people to have some kind of after parties, try to get people to stay a little longer so the exodus isn't all at once. But yeah, I don't really see that happening. So I think they're all just gonna be trying to leave at once.
I went to a meeting in Old Forge with the state police, Friday.
Friday, yeah.
George was there. And they pretty much put it that it's gonna be like the Super Bowl ×4, but you
Yeah.
don't know where the game's gonna be played. That's what the trooper said.
Where's the food? That's all I care.
So they really have no clue what's gonna happen. They're gonna have more resources on hand. The DEC was there. They plan on having someone on, Bald.
Okay,
I don't know if they'll have anyone here, but they'll have 7 units in the area.
gotcha.
They're also considering shutting down 28 and making it all southbound.
Really?
Home that day, so I'm not very happy.
Yeah.
How crazy.
If shit hits the fan, I guess. sort of
Oh, my gosh.
They say the thruway is gonna be locked. You can't get on it, but you're not gonna be able to move on it. It's gonna be that crazy.
Gridlock.
They have no idea. They're really concerned about all the traffic heading back towards Utica.
Yep.
That's gonna be coming from every direction. So they said up here, worst case it stands still, it can't. What do you do?
Spend another night.
We have another meeting April 2nd. and they're gonna give us some more updates on, where they plan to be stationed. And they're hoping for emergency services to tell them what they can offer.
School's closed then, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
So I mean, we got a drain on the local
Most people are gone.
support.
Yeah,
What was funny was mentioned it is, I think there's a school in Utica that wanted to bring a bus of kids up here to watch the eclipse, and I think the Utica PD says, no, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, they're really concerned because schools went out at the same time the eclipse will be over. So with all the traffic down in Herkimer and United County, they're waiting to hear if the governor's gonna close schools that day.
Governor should.
Yeah, there are some schools that are not normally closed that did decide to close.
The entire county of Onondaga.
Yeah.
decided to pull the plug.
Syracuse is right in the middle. They're in the same place, so they have an infrastructure.
Yeah.
They're like, well, just let the kids out. Stay home.
All right.
For me, I think about what if the ice is still kind of there?
Won't be.
I mean,
There won't be.
There won't be any. There's no way.
I mean,
There's gonna
No
be-
ice.
You never know, but it is kind of, yeah,
There won't be any.
it ain't looking like it.
There's a giant hole right-
We have to hope that we don't get that sub-zero temperature for a week that would glaze it over. That would be, it won't be safe, but there could be a glaze over. That's the problem.
The other thing is temperature of the water is still gonna be unsafe, it's gonna pose a danger to anybody that gets out of the water that time of year who's not prepared. And a lot of people have no idea what being prepared means.
Right. And they were very concerned about ice coverage, the state police. They felt better knowing that, Otter Lake was out at the time and our lake was breaking up. But I don't think they thought about people in canoes and kayaks and kayaks.
You don't have long enough temperature.
So the sheriff is hoping Herkimer County to have a vote on, but they weren't 100%.
We can wonder if the DEC would be willing to close the boat launch that day.
That'd be worth it, really.
Might help.
Barricade it right off.
We'll reach out to our contact there. You still get.
I don't know if it'll affect us too, but they also, they're gonna close McClay Mountain down.
Yep.
No, closing the gates so nobody can go up there.
Oh, that's a good idea. Well, and again, because I can't tell you the number of people I saw getting mountain bike stuff at Ted's place today. Wondering where they're gonna be, trying to ride on the soft trails. I think he was trying to tell them to stay off of some of the trails. But all right. More to come on that. Public comment number 2.
April 24th and 5th is APA days in Saranac again.
Okay.
I'd like to go to that. I don't know if anybody else wants to go in.
I'd love to go, but I think I go to Florida that week. I'll double check. If not, I'll go with you again. That was on my sheet.
Planning board are authorized.
Yeah, I'm gonna make reservations for that, and I wanna do that before I go on vacation, so.
I'll check my date, but I almost think I'm committed. You said
This-
this
this-
24th, 23rd, 24th?
24th, 5th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wednesday, Thursday.
I think I said
And-
we can my dad home, but I'll
Oh, whatever.
clarify and see.
You definitely want to go.
I'll go.
Excellent. Okay. good.
I'll add you to my list.
Okay, I'll come in and fill my thing.
Thank you.
We browsed it well. You'll be doing or?
Unfortunately, we received a letter of resignation to the Town of Inlet Police Department. Dated March 6, 2024. Supervisor Fry and the Town of Inlet board members, please accept this letter as my resignation from employment with the Town of Inlet Police effective March 27th, 2024. I have accepted a position as a detective investigator with the Attorney General's office and will be starting employment with them on March 28th, 2024. I appreciate the opportunity that was provided to me to serve the people of the Town of Inlet during my time here. Thank you, Toby Linfield. That was Sergeant Linfield. Toby will be missed. Toby was a nice addition to the force. We're not going to hold anybody back from bettering themselves, and unfortunately, or fortunately for him, having a shorter commute and the other things, we have an opening for a full-time police position in the Town of Inlet. I know that our acting chief is looking for possible lateral transfers. But at this point, I don't believe we're looking to the academy, but we're eagerly accepting any application for somebody with experience.
Yeah.
Um,
You need somebody that's got a little bit of.
and they can meet the New York State guidelines to serve as a full-time police officer. Anything else for public comment? And
Hockey season's ending, so informally, I just wanted to thank the Inlet Youth Commission, the Parks Department, the board of the Inlet Mighty Loons for a great season. Last tournament's on this upcoming Saturday, and the following Friday is the Comets game with the kids and the parents and coaches to sort of celebrate and they're gonna play at the halftime. So I just wanted to thank the town really for all the support. Again, I'm sure Julie will say something more eloquent and more formal, but just been a great season, and so thanks everybody. It was great.
how many kids were involved this year?
I know with the U8 team, we've got 9. I know that the U6 team's probably got about the same, and I'm not sure U10. And then I think there's about 20 people in the Learn to Skate program. So, you know, Julie said maybe 40, 50 people. And
Nice.
Awesome. It's nice to see that back in town. Yeah, thank you. All right,
One thing,
okay, Dan?
I wouldn't mind permission, if there's doable, I can meet with Mike and Chip sometime about some trail work in the spring, if that's good with you guys, if it's something we can fit in.
Sure.
That's just,
Yeah.
want to go behind everyone's back, like,
No, no.
if this, maybe they got a full plate, but if they don't, I mean, I'd love a few little upgrades at some point, so.
Sure.
No, I don't have to meet with you guys, maybe it's something that Mike and Chip and I can, a couple of upgrades, if it's doable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, just so that we don't have to look for permission kind of thing.
He's got equipment to play with now.
Just a few little things I had, maybe we can fit it in this year, I don't know. Just wanted, somebody had a heads up on it.
Good.
All right.
Perfect.
I have one.
Yep.
Thing, about the letter that you received, that I'm very disturbed that we've lost, a number of officers lately. Really good, embedded in the community, cared about community policing. Toby specifically showed leadership and took over quite a bit. It's very disturbing. I wish the board would take some serious look at why some of these things are happening. If they can set up for better success for, you know, going forward with our police department. That's really disturbing, and it's an incredibly important part to the community.
It's an excellent, I think we can recommend doing an exit interview. I don't know. what you guys
Exit
think.
conversations are happening.
That's,
So, thank you.
yeah.
I second that. All right, we're gonna audit bills, and after that, we've got 2 items for executive session. Motion to pay, what?
You wanted to tell something to the board too? Yes, okay.
But I'll be really quick.
Yeah, no, that's all fine, but so you got 3.
Oh, 3 for executive
Three
session.
items.
You have 2 and Amy has 1.
Correct.
Amy's, yours is legal, yours are and personnel matters?
One's a personnel matter and one is a possible litigation.
Okay, because we can't go into executive session without stating why we're going into executive session.
Yep.
Okay, prior to that, auditing bills, motion to pay the highway bills that were reviewed earlier this evening,
I'll second it.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, so carried. Motion to pay the general and sewer bills that were presented earlier,
For
Second.
discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
important question before we get up.
Okay, before we go into executive session?
Yeah. Next meeting.
Next meeting.
Okay, are we having the next meeting on the second Tuesday?
I've got some question marks down next to that.
Okay, yes, so do I. So-
They're right here on the agenda.
Okay, perfect.
You're gonna be out of town?
No. I'll be out of town late. I think the last week or 2 in April is when I drive my dad home from Florida. That's how I'm gonna miss Saranac. So I don't have to be out of town and my kids are gone.
I am going to be in
You know what I
Mexico.
mean? So I
Mexico.
I am going to be at the orphanage.
The week before?
The week before, I'm gonna be in Florida with, you know, which is also, right, those are the 2 break weeks of school.
The week after?
I can be here. If
That-
so deemed,
I think
I can be here. That would be
I
the,
think that'll work. You're talking the
16th.
16th?
16th.
I think, but don't clarify that yet.
We will tentatively schedule the next board meeting for the 16th of April in acknowledgement of the school breaks that are happening. And I believe now we are back to reviewing bills at 6:30.
Yep.
Mhm.
I want to continue with that if we can.
Yeah, I like that.
I thought it was coming.
That's.
Oh, yeah.
Else on it.
So it's now a golden opportunity to move the board meetings to Wednesday night.
Yeah.
The 9th works for me, but it won't work for you guys. Is that what it is? What?
Well,
I'll be out of town,
I'm gonna be in Mexico.
but I can get Amy, so that's not a problem.
It's still nice to have the full board.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, other people, I think even though you got the eclipse the day before, I think there's gonna be a lot of people gone from school break. I could be wrong about that, but, and so yeah, we could do the 17th if it does conflict with the court. I don't, you know, but, and if you do it that first week, there's no way I get out of Mexico.
So that's all right.
Yeah.
Wednesday, the 17th.
So we actually moved our planning board meeting to that night. The APA days.
Oh, wow.
Okey-doke. Oh, right, yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
How about the 18th?
15th? That's tax day. That's
No,
Monday.
let's not.
Monday's not a good day to
Myself.
celebrate.
Well, the 15th might be doing.
Monday's not a good day, really. All right.
Oh, our planning board meeting starts at 7. We could start a little early. It would go more than.
Well, we can do bills in the senior room and come in here
Yeah,
afterwards.
can we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So we're shooting for
16.
The 16th,
16th.
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday, the 17th,
17th.
Wednesday, the 17th.
Yeah.
Wednesday, the 17th.
Then we won't conflict with DA. and we won't-
This has been a conversation that we've been having anyways, is, you know, Tuesday night, the best night to have the meetings. It's been there forever and a day, whatever. But because of the court situation and this nice dais that we have here and the regulations that New York State has been placing on courts, it would be nice to, if we're telling everybody else that they can't be in here on Tuesday night, then maybe we shouldn't be in here on a Tuesday night either. Wednesday present a problem for anybody else moving forward? We'll give this a trial run and see how it goes.
Well, I'm up for a trial run
Okay.
in April.
17th, 6:30 bills to be reviewed in the senior room, 7:30, hopefully to start the meeting in here.
That work good?
On that,
Think you'll be done by then?
We'll just go fast. Yeah, what's that?
You'll be all right with that?
We'll be fine. Yep.
all right, folks, thanks. You're welcome to step out of the room and wait, to see what we're coming back in with. I don't know if on anything legal that we'll be able to make any statements on what's going on with legal stuff, but you're welcome to stay in the hallway if you'd like. But motion to go into executive session.